Hola from the west side. It is me, DCThePurpleDiva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Memorial Day and happy Monday. I decided not to come on last night because I was, floating around these YouTube streets. And it got late. Now I was tired. So I went to bed. But I'm back tonight. And I had a good day today, actually. Not too much going on. We're going to see how long my background music lasts because my iPad is just about dead. But it's playing right now, so we'll see how long it lasts. Anyway, I hope everybody had a great day today. I hope everybody was able to enjoy the day and also practice social distancing. Although I know that in some places they did not practice social distancing this weekend. And one of the parks in Los Angeles County has been closed as a result of it here. People weren't social distancing, so now they no longer have use of that park. And it's a shame, because it was a beautiful day today, but they lost the privilege yesterday. So today that park was closed and it was supposed to be open. But I think a lot of people, still aren't taking this whole situation seriously at all. I just, think that they aren't. I know that a lot of churches are planning on opening up the last Sunday of this month. And I'm going to say my church is not one of them. My pastor did get on and spoke with us yesterday during service. And, pretty much said, that, she was going to wait. And, if people, wanted to go out to another church that's open next week or still continue to watch our cyber services, that was up to them. But, she felt that it was in the best interest and using wisdom to not necessarily open up when everybody else opened up. And I personally think that that's probably a good thing. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I am a big proponent of the churches having the ability to open and places of worship. I'm a big proponent, for that. But I just don't want, houses of worship to open and then half their congregations get sick because they don't take the proper precautions. So whatever guidelines are coming out, be they from the CDC or whatever, they need to get them out quickly. So that, I want people to be able to go to church, to, the Kingdom Hall, to the mosque, to the synagogue, wherever it is that they choose they would normally attend. But I also want there to be safety in them. And, I stand with my pastor on not opening up next Sunday, Pentecost Sunday, as all of these some of the Christian churches are saying. And guys, one moment. I'm going to put y'all on pause for just one moment. Got to take care of something. Just one moment. Okay, I'm back. Had to handle caregiver duty. But like I said, I am with houses of worship opening back up. I just want it to be a safe situation, because I don't know about other places that people were worshiping, but a lot of houses of worship, be it a synagogue, be it a church, be it a mosque, have older congregations or older people within those congregations. And we have to, be concerned about everybody's, health, because again, we must assume that everyone has this. So if we're assuming that everyone has this in churches and everything opening back up, I'm hoping that everyone's going to be safe. Now, I know that my pastor is going to be. Okay. She kind of laid out, some of the things that she's planning on doing in, opening back up the worship. But in the meantime, we're able to see our pastor for Bible studies and for Sunday worship. But the concern is that we do have older members, and a lot of older members do not have all this technology. They don't have Facebook. Some of them don't even have a computer or the internet. I can just remember my own mother when she was still here, and my mom refused. She did not get on social media, and she only used the internet from my internet. She just had a bounced off and basically used mine and would use it from my house, but she wouldn't necessarily. She didn't want it in hers. But she lived in the house that was right next to mine. It was really weird, but I know that a lot of older people, they're old-fashioned. I'm not, that old, but I still have a house phone. I don't just have a cell phone, and that's weird to a lot of people, because a lot of people don't have house phones. They only have a cell phone. That's the only way you can get to them. But I have a house phone. So I have one of those, old-fashioned tendencies. So I do understand that older, people don't necessarily always have everything necessarily on the technical side. And many of them, may not be, living with their kids, or they may be, alone. Now, thankfully, the majority of the people that are within my church's congregation, we don't have that many that live alone, but we are doing a roster and trying to, reach out to as many people as possible and check on them just to make sure everybody's okay. Because, again, they're not all on Facebook. So, I think it's going to be a challenge to open churches safely and to make sure that, if people are contagious, that they stay home, or that they have some way of being able to monitor that as well. It's just I think there's a lot of layers in that, but I was offended by the fact that clothing stores are considered essential and churches were not. Like, a person's soul and a person's mental health is not that important. Hey, Sarah. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate it. So, it's going to be interesting with the churches opening back up. I know there's been some churches that have been in defiance, and they've been in defiance to the detriment of their parishioners. So I hope going forward, now that they have the blessing of even 45 on this, but I don't know where that's coming from. He thinks that he can overrule the states. Unfortunately, he can't do that. His authority does not allow him to overrule the states. Oh, you're welcome. 45 cannot overrule the states, but I do find it very odd that Newsom did not want to open up the churches and synagogues and everything in California, and that he was holding off on that. I personally was insulted by that, because am I ready for my church to open back up? No, I think my church is doing the right thing in not opening back up next week along with everyone else. But I don't want us to not have the right. I don't want us to not have the right to go to church. I don't want us to be forced to not come to church. I want it to be our choice again. So that's what my issue was. As of, next week, most churches will be open. My church is going to wait a little longer, because she wants to make sure that, she has space where she doesn't have to turn anyone away who actually wants to come to church. But she's got to look at the safety of the members. As I said in a previous live, the last Sunday that we had service prior to the shutdown, I believe that there may have been, I believe we might have allowed 125 people. No, I think we only allowed 50 people. But I think our church's main sanctuary can hold 800 people. We're not going to be able to have 800 people in there. We're not going to be able to have 200 people in there. Not with the 6-foot thing, because that's literally like, I don't know, a person. We've got like 3 big sections in the front of the church, okay? And then we have 3 sections in the back of the church. So what it basically means, in the way that our church is laid out, is that In each section, you'll have a person at the end of each row, every other row, so that we keep that distance and take out rows so that we don't have the capacity in there for as many people. And then have some chairs in our overflow that's in the sanctuary. And then thankfully, thankfully, my church owns what used to be the Inglewood Inglewood Y, which is, stands for YMCA. We bought that property, so we can also have people overflow into that gym area. So we've got some options, and my pastor's even saying if she has to, we will literally do service outside in the parking lot if we have to, over there. So she's trying to figure out all of the things that we can do so that when we open back up, we're not turning people away from church. And I totally get where she's coming from. And, I'm glad she's thinking about people's safety. I know that a lot of other pastors are thinking about safety as well. But we all know that doing this stay-at-home order, churches have not been getting as much tithes from people and offerings, even though a lot of churches do give you the ability to electronically give and everything. A lot of people don't give if they aren't in person. They just don't. And so, for a lot of churches, it has cost them that. And I know that may be one of the things that many are concerned about, because most churches, that's how they're able to, survive off the tithes and offerings. It is a lot of work, Mo Grizzly. I think it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be the new normal. New normal, new way to be safe. I mean, I'm just imagining as offices are opening back up and people are going back to work in offices versus working at home. How's that going to work? In offices that are laid out without social distancing. Are they going to split the staff and have people alternate who works from home, or are they going to reconfigure their offices? Because it's quite evident that, we're going to have to deal with at least one more round of this virus. Even their best guesstimates of having some type of vaccine is still not anywhere within the next 6 months. Still not going to happen, by January of 2021. And I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard any other country coming up with any reliable vaccine yet either. Nobody has. We're not even going to talk about that medicine that 45 claims he's taking. I've already told you he's not taking that medicine. That's a lie. That's fake news that he's reporting. If he was really taking that medicine like he says he's taking it, he'd be in the hospital by now. I mean, he is considered morbidly obese. Like it or not, he's fat. And he doesn't have the best diet. That man is not taking that stuff. It would mess him up worse. He's not going to take the chance of that. He's just telling people that so somebody else will be crazy enough to go do it. Don't believe him on that. That's some dumb stuff that he's preaching to people. Everybody around him is telling you that don't do it. So don't listen to him. Don't listen to him on that. Yeah, of course, he gave us all. He gave us all a check, and I guess he figures that that's going to buy the votes. I don't know, but then again, I didn't talk about this on Friday or Saturday. But Joe Biden said some crazy mess. He like put his foot in his mouth. And now I am not a Republican, okay? I think I've made that perfectly clear. I'm also not a Democrat. But for Biden to say some crazy mess about you're not black, don't call yourself black or something like that. If you're not supporting him, like, what the are you talking about, Biden? And then he went on, I guess he cleaned it up or tried to clean it up. He tried to clean it up, y'all. I don't know if he did a good job of that, though. He tried to clean it up, and he's got a couple of months to suck up to voters of color and clean up his mess. But, here's the thing. I'm not a Trump supporter, okay? But I do know some black people who are. And some who are well educated, and they've got valid reasons for why they are Trump supporters. Not all of them, but some of them do. And, they happen to be business owners. So they're looking at it from a totally different perspective than perhaps, say, the majority of quote unquote black people in the United States are. Because for whatever reason, most of us are Democrats. I don't know if we're Democrats because our parents were Democrats and their parents before them were Democrats. But before that, do you realize that if you go back to the 1800s to the early 1900s, when that blacks that were actually affluent and were actually out there were not Democrats, that they were Republicans. I believe that's one of the reasons why my sorority symbol is an elephant. I believe that's one of the reasons why. That might be so. That's one of those urban legends in regards to Delta Sigma Theta, by the way. That's not a fact. I'm not giving y'all that as a fact. That's an urban legend about Delta Sigma Theta. That one of the reasons why we have the elephant is because, early members were Republicans. Because there were black Republicans back then. But here's the thing that people need to understand, is that neither party, be it the Democratic or the Republican Party, is for any of us. White, black, pink, purple. They're not for any of us. They are for themselves. Politicians are not for the people at all. They are for themselves. And really, you have to look at the issues and who is fighting for what's important to you. That's generally how you should be figuring out how you're going to vote. Told y'all, I knew that music was going to die. Let me see if I can pull it up on something else. I know, that's what I'm saying, reconstruction. I was telling, that's what I'm talking about, Mo Grizzly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We were not, our ancestors, you know, after slavery, they were not Democrats. Y'all, Abraham Lincoln wasn't a Democrat, in case y'all didn't know that. He was not a Democrat. And like I said, neither were we. I don't know what was the shift that made Black folk go to becoming Democrats. I really don't. I'm not sure what that was, what that turning point was for us, but yeah, you can hear the music a little bit now. I have it playing on my phone now. That's as loud as it gets on the phone. But I knew that the iPad was going to die on us. You know, politics is it's a twisted fellow. But it is not. There are people, how can I say this? Politicians are not about the people. They make you think they're about you. They make you think they care about you. They make you think they care about your issues, but they're doing whatever they need to do to get elected. Now, I'm going to use an example that some people won't like, but I'm going to use them anyway. 44. Now, 44 was the Democratic candidate for president. He was not the Black candidate for president. He was the Democratic candidate for president. And if you listen closely to its platform and to the things that he said, did any of you really hear him talk about things specifically that he was going to do for Black Americans? Now, I love 44. And I love Michelle, forever my flautist. I'm just making a point by saying this. Did anyone ever hear him specifically say things that were specific Black issues? Or did he talk about issues of the common man? Because I think people had higher expectations of this man than he led them to believe. I think they expected more out of him than he promised. He didn't promise them stuff. They just thought he owed them things. So now you have this other person in office. And most of us don't believe that he has any respect for the office that he holds. And that he tries to run it like a dictatorship. But even he is finding that he doesn't have all the powers that he thought he had. And he runs into opposition trying to do some of the crazy stuff he wants to do, thank God. Exactly, more Grizzly. That's what I'm saying. 44 spoke to issues for the common man. Yet Black people in the United States are mad at him because he didn't address Black issues. But he never talked about Black issues. So how can you expect a man to do something about something he never talked about? He never made any promises about that. So he didn't break any promises to us either. We just expected him, and I say we, as in we in general, expected him to do all of this stuff that clearly, being the first and probably the only Black president that we have, this man wasn't going to be able to do none of all this stuff that y'all thought he was going to do. The only thing he could do is get in there and try to bring together a very divided, Congress and Senate. That's the same thing that's happening with this one. He just has it in the reverse of what 44 had. In 44's case, they own, he had a Senate that was against him and a House that was for him. This man has a House that's against him and a Senate that's for him. The majority. He has the majority of the Senate. "44 did a few things for us, but what I'm saying is he did some things for us, but they weren't specific to us. It's because everyone was going through the same situation at the same time. Like 44 came in when we were going through the Big Short. So a lot of people were about to lose their houses. White, Black, brown, everybody. So a lot of people got help in that. A lot of people who lost their jobs got unemployment for a lot longer. I think people were getting unemployment for like unheard of 2 years back then. 45 is not going to do that, y'all. Even though the unemployment rate is going to probably be higher, is going to be higher than what 44 had to deal with. All the jobs that were here when 45 came in, gone. Que sera, sera. And it's going to take a while for them to come back. But this president is not, about helping the common man. He's about helping the big corporations. I'm just telling y'all, that's the truth. Exactly. He gave us a one-time thing. They're talking about maybe giving out another, but every time they try to get whatever they're proposing through, it crashes and burns. So I don't know what's going to happen, but even as the country is opening back up, people aren't getting jobs back. There are industries that are hurting. Most industries are hurting, but there's some industries that are just not going to recover for a very long time, like hospitality. They're not going to recover for quite some time. Tourism is not going to suddenly go back up. He's not built for hard work. He's used to running a corporation. The United States is not a corporation. Not like the corporations that he's run. And he can't file bankruptcy for us. He can't bankrupt the country. You know, like he's done his companies. Can't do that. But I don't think that he's going to be able to get past the fact that, and I don't know, maybe he will, because right now he doesn't really have any strong opposition. Biden is getting in his own way. But 45 still has to contend with the fact that we as a country did not react fast enough. If they had reacted, if they had done things just a week to 10 days sooner than we did, it would have meant tens of thousands of people over, you know, that would not have gotten this. It would have saved some lives. And he's trying to deflect from that. He doesn't want to deal with that. But their report card on dealing with this pandemic is not good. It's not good at all. Not when you compare us to other countries, and we are supposed to be, quote unquote, the richest country in the world, even if we are one of the youngest. So I don't know how he's going to do. We shall see. You know, but no one's even talking about the fact that in less than 6 months, we have a presidential election. The only thing I do hear is that 45 is jumping up and down about states that are giving all voters the option to vote by mail. In other words, they're sending out the applications to give them that option. They're not saying everyone is voting by mail, because a lot of people aren't. I don't vote by mail. You can give me the option if you want, but I'm still going to come in person because I don't trust voting by mail. That's me. That's me. And because I've already experienced the new machines that they have here in California for the primaries that happened, you know, right at the beginning of all of this craziness. I have no problem with that. My son, on the other hand, is going to need a mail-in ballot. He is not going to do well with the touchscreen voting. It's going to be harder for him. So it's going to be easy for him to just be able to do the dots. So that's how he's going to vote. But no one's talking about, not really talking about the fact that we've got an election looming. And I'm afraid that a lot of people are just going to not vote. And we're going to end up with this man in here again without a fight. Without a fight. I know it's hard to beat an incumbent, but it's happened before. There have been one-term presidents in both parties. I'm just saying. And they tried to make 44 into a one-term president, but they couldn't. And this global pandemic that we're in may have gifted him another term. I'm just saying. It may have gifted him another term. But you just don't know. You just never know. you just never know. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I go into. Let's see. I think if I cut this on, y'all are going to hear it. Let me see what happens. Yeah. Yep, can't do that. So let me go back to. Yeah. See, I can only play one or the other on the phone. I can't watch YouTube. I can't watch from my YouTube and be on the phone. I'm looking to see where my iPad is doing, how it's doing. Has it come back up? It looks like it's still dead. And it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be on here that much longer tonight. I'm just going to be here maybe another 10, 15 minutes. But I've also been, floating around the YouTube streets this weekend. And I actually was listening to a conversation on Sheep Stay Sleek TV. Shouts out to DS1. And they were talking about the garden tool word being used for a certain type of female. And why women, we tend to not want to call other females a garden tool. And now someone got up on the panel, and I think that it was Kendra D, but don't quote me on that. But she made some points about it, from the standpoint of that, these garden tool women call each other garden tools, and they don't seem to have a problem with being called that. It's only women who aren't that who have an issue with it. So why do we have an issue with it? Because y'all know I don't like the word. I don't like women being called that. But I think I don't like women being called that when it's not true. When you're just saying it out of anger. You just calling them, a garden tool, and that might not actually be the person's character. Now if that's who they are and that's what they do, that's a whole nother situation then, but that's where I have the issue in regards to it. And I know that it comes out of a lot of people's mouths in Black YouTube. It just does. You hear it like, it's just like, like a run-on sentence with dragging people and they calling them, garden tools and female dogs and all of that. In real life, let me just say, in real life, now I can cuss somebody out if I want to, but I kind of reserve those curse outs for people you really know, because why waste my energy on somebody I don't even know? But I do understand that's the way some people talk, and if you're not calling me that, why should I be offended? Really? I guess that's the way I need to look at it. You're not referring to me, because I know that's not what I am. Nor would I answer to that. I guess I really shouldn't be, as offended. It was a good point. I can't really explain it the way that it was explained on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. So, if you're not already subscribed to his channel, you need to go check the S1 channel out. Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I have rented lips right now. And he is a monetized channel at this point. I'm so happy for him on that. But yeah, it was a really good conversation. And it was today. I forget what the title of the chat was. Oh, it was hyenas. That's what it was about. The topic was hyenas. And they were talking about, certain types of men. And then then it came around to talking about garden tool women. I know, y'all, I'm laughing. Because, see, if you hear me saying those kind of words, I'm pissed. I am pissed and somebody has pushed my buttons. I'm just telling you, they done pushed some buttons. They done brought the DC out of DC. I like to stay in a Zen place. I don't bother nobody, as long as don't nobody bother me.
Say it again.
Exactly. Let me say it again. I don't bother nobody, as long as don't nobody bother me, because that's how I am. I don't get in the middle of stuff. Now I might have an opinion about things that are going on, because I'm not with the doxing. I'm not with the doxing. I'm not with people, giving out people's personal information. I don't care whether they deserve it or not. There's been a whole lot of doxing going on around YouTube. A lot. Not to say the least, I believe a young lady had her personal information put out there in what? I don't know if it's still out there, but it was hanging out on somebody's community tab. And it was her state license. It said her government name, said where she lives, had the number of her license, all of this stuff, because she's in one of those professions. I don't think that was right. But there's also a flip side to this. The flip side to this is that allegedly, because I don't know, but allegedly, she doxed the person who doxed her. She doxed their mother. So she pulled someone who wasn't even on YouTube, allegedly, into YouTube mess. And so this person felt the need for retribution. But people won't get hurt with all this doxing that's going on around here. Because everybody's just now not down for that mess. And, is it going to stop? It probably isn't going to stop. I mean, it's not like it's only happening in one part of YouTube. It happens all over, but I just wanted to stop before someone gets hurt. Because I feel like the way that it's going, someone's going to get hurt. Because people refuse to stop. And I don't even get it. I don't get it. And in some of the situations, apparently people are doxing people in their chats. Content creators are doxing their supporters. Like, Why would you do that? Why would you dox someone who supports your content? That's twisted to me. It's twisted. That's the way I see it. You know, I mean, it's just been a lot of stuff that I know of that has happened over the last, year and a half? And then this latest situation is something that's just cropped up, in the last 60 days. Yeah. This stuff happened during the pandemic. Now, I'm not going to talk about the whole situation that led up to it because, really doesn't even really matter. And other people are talking about it enough in their chats. So I don't have nothing to say about that other than the doxing part. I think everybody wrong. You know, I've already said how I felt about people getting doxed that aren't even on YouTube. Like, why do you dox people that aren't even on the channel? They're not content creators. They don't come in your chat. They probably don't even know who you are. But you dox them. You doxing people's parents. You doxing people's kids. Husbands, wives, significant others that aren't on YouTube. Like, I could just imagine somebody try doxing my 81-year-old daddy. Doxing family members is a desperate attempt for attention. And it could get you hurt. You know how people are about their parents? They're as crazy about their parents as they are about their kids. So they all should be off limits. And my concern in the situation of this young lady that was doxed with her, her license for her profession being put out there is that not only gave out her information as to where she lives, but it also gives out information as to where her kids live. And there are a lot of sick MFs out there that might come and do something stupid. And I mean, I don't know, do people think about that when they do this stuff? If when you're gonna put people's information, do you think about their kids, you think about the other people, even if they've done something to you, even if they did something to your family, do you think about the innocent people on their side? Because kids shouldn't be pulled into none of this stuff. You might have done it to be vindictive, but now suppose somebody crazy shows up at this woman's house. Suppose something happened to her kids behind her information being put out on YouTube. I pray nothing like that happens. But it could. It could. And that's my point. Something like that could happen. You just, you know, you just gotta be careful on YouTube. You have to be careful with who you uh, associate with, who you know, and what information you give people. I'm sorry, but I do not see any reason why anyone on the platform should have any personal information about anybody else on the platform. I mean, unless you know each other off the platform, you know, knew each other prior to or have met off the platform and all that stuff. But other than that, I you know, that shouldn't even be going on. People should not have, because they use that information like phone numbers, pictures, you know, whatever information. You have people who use it for sinister reasons. You know, you cool with them today, but tomorrow y'all not cool. So now they taking your business and telling it to everybody. Because I guess we're in high school. Hey, Darren. Oh, you weren't even, you missed it. I was referring to you earlier. I didn't say you by name, but I was just talking about that I knew some Trump supporters that are black, but who have legitimate reasons for why they support him. Well, I'm not a Trump supporter, so you know. And I was also talking about, yeah, I know. I'll be back on tomorrow. You know, I had to get on here and talk for a little while. I talked about 45. Yep, about how I think he's about to he's being gifted another term, because I don't, at least right now, I don't see Biden fighting. But hey, maybe he's doing some stuff I don't see behind the scenes. Hey, you know, maybe he's doing some stuff behind the scenes. And then I was just talking about, you know, some of the stuff that, you know, about the doxing that just happened. You know, I don't really, I don't agree with what allegedly the young lady did, you know, but she has kids and they live at that address too. So that's what I'm really more concerned about, her children and sickos who are out here on this platform. I'm like, I don't even understand how people have people's information. Why do you give people your information? I would not give nobody my information like that. They can then take it around and use it. Like, why does this other person have a copy of your license for your profession? I don't know. I would like, I'm working on getting my real estate license. Told you guys that before. Once I have that real estate license, I'm not sending a copy of it to anybody on YouTube. Why would I do that? If they decide that they want me to be a real estate broker for them or something like that, or help them with the real estate sales, well then we would actually meet in person off of YouTube. It would be that kind of situation. I'm just not trusting. It's not even a paranoia with me. I don't trust. You know. I've had my own internet nightmares. Before there was a YouTube, before there was a Facebook, telling y'all, you know, I've had stalkers that stalked me on the internet. Crazy people. When I was doing my radio show.
It was me. I'm sorry.
If it was you, I could have handled it. You know, yeah. I'll have to tell y'all one day the story about one of the crazy stalkers that used to stalk me in one of my old email accounts that was linked to my radio show that I used to do. Yeah. I don't have that email account anymore, but I would get crazy. I'm just telling y'all, I would get crazy. You know? People who thought they knew me because apparently, you know, they had gone to the same school as me. So they thought they knew me, but no, they ain't know me. They just knew of me. But it's amazing what people think about you when they don't really know you. It's amazing what they think about you. But I'm gonna come online for you guys so you guys can see me. And if you guys get a chance, I did put out some Monday motivation today. It's a song. It's called If I Faint Not. Take a look at it. I think it'll only take 7 minutes of your time. I promise you won't ask for it back. It'll be okay. I'm not that bad a singer. All right, let me come on here so y'all can see me. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming at the end. Thank you for coming through, bro. Thank you for coming through, Uppity. Thank you, More Grizzly. Thank you, Elise, for coming through earlier. Thank you, everyone who pushed through and didn't say anything, because I saw people coming through and in and out the chat. I appreciate y'all for coming and giving me a view today. I appreciate y'all for listening to what I had to say. I will be back on tomorrow. And I will have more content coming up for y'all as well. Vlog 50 is in the works. But until tomorrow, I want everybody to stay safe. You know, hopefully y'all don't have hangovers. Y'all weren't out there drinking and everything. You just ate a lot. But until tomorrow, I'll ask you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. Bye, everybody. Have a safe one.